What's going on, Jerome's? So I know a lot of Vikings fans are headed out to Las Vegas this weekend as the Vikings take on the Raiders. And, from a time or two, we like to find ourselves in Sin City, a.k.a. Gary, Indiana, a.k.a. a disclosed location, and want to give, it's not really like tips and tricks, like not really about that, but just some recommendations of things that you want to do and see. Now, highly recommend getting reservations on some of these restaurants, and sometimes they're booked out, but also don't be weirded out by eating at weird times, because frankly, I mean, we're coming, a lot of Vikings fans are coming from Central Time Zone, and eating at 5 o'clock out in Pacific time, it's so weird since it's 7 Central Time. But basically, we're just going to do a bunch of like places that we've gone to that we like, mainly around the Strip. That's where I assume where a lot of people are staying, a couple downtown. But, like there, I also got some great, really fun, like local places in like Spring Valley and Summerlin and all that stuff. But I doubt that people are venturing out there. But just some off the cuff, back of the envelope recommendations. Now, we could go down Picasso Bellagio or Joel Robuchon or Michael Mina is really good, but I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a time for fine dining and there's a time for just good old fashioned getting after it. It's good stuff, man. But so there's mainly restaurants, a couple bars, but number one, don't go to buffets. That's a complete waste. Like, unless you're 7 stars or like high end stuff, you're gonna be waiting for hours, and the food ain't that great, and it's gonna be kind of expensive. So nah. Don't go to chains. Like, I understand. Like, you want something to eat really quick, just don't go to Denny's. I mean, just unless they're local chains, or that's something that you don't go to very often where you're from. Like here in Minnesota, we don't have In-N-Out. So I mean, hitting up In-N-Out burger in the Link Promenade, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, man. Also, some of these higher end places, if they're open for lunch, hit them up, because it's essentially like a pared down menu. Also, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. Also, it's going to have a lot more availability. So do that up. So we kind of broke this up. So first off are steak places, and definitely recommend reservations. You may have to eat at weird times if you don't have a res already, especially on the weekend. But Vic and Anthony's downtown. Vic and Anthony's is fantastic, man. Right. And I love steak place. I love steakhouses where it's a very small menu, but they do the damn thing right. Like, a couple sides, a couple steaks, and a couple desserts, and you're good to go, man. You're good. Craft Steak at MGM Grand is the wife and I's one of our favorite places. And you can certainly chase after the name brand. Like there's a ton of Gordon Ramsay places. There's a ton of Buddy the Cake Boss places all over the place. Not gonna lie. So Guy Fieri, I mean, it's kind of fun, right? But getting the Bloody Mary that has like 2 pounds of bacon in it, do it. But Craft Steak, Tom Colicchio's place at MGM Grand, it's fantastic. The steaks are top notch, and also like the sides. Highly recommend the sides. The roasted carrots are phenomenal. Pureed sweet potatoes are great. The mushrooms, highly recommend. Also, the wife, so she didn't want a steak, and they didn't have the risotto that she likes on the menu because it wasn't in season. But she got the pork chop. It was like heritage pork. Oh my god, probably the best pork chop I've ever had too. Bizarre Meats by Jose Andres. It's weird. It's very good. It's very weird. That's all I'll say. A Strip House LV. Now, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, like Strip House LV, they're never really busy. But in Planet Hollywood, it's great. Ooh, Babette's. I believe that's in Park MGM. It's really good. It's like an old school 1920 Chicago type place. Get the bone marrow. It's really good. Also, STK in Cosmo is good. Didn't have that listed. Peter Luger's is in the Caesar Palace now. Didn't get a chance to stop by there. It opened up rather recently, but I've gone to the place in Brooklyn, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So if you like steak, go there. Del Monaco in the Venetian. That's an Emerald place. See, I know that a lot of people just see Emerald as like the TV guy, Bam, but Emerald's got an empire, man, and they put out some good food, like a steak, Cajun style. Go ahead. Also, strip steak in Mandalay Bay is really good as well, and I'm sure there's a bunch of them that we've left off, but those are just a couple off the top of my head. So I'm a big sushi guy. I mean that in multiple ways. But Morimoto in MGM Grand, it's a little bit spendy, but it's so good. It's so freaking good. Also, in MGM, there's a country bar that generally has live music called the Losers Bar, which is just outside of Craft Steak and Morimoto. And also, I believe the Emerald restaurant there. Definitely stop in. It's fantastic. Get the peanut butter whiskey. I don't know why, but it's good. You or Me is in the Arts District. Now, the Arts District, I highly recommend heading down there. That neighborhood didn't used to be great, but it's been revitalized quite a bit. A lot of great sort of craft businesses in there. And I always compared it, it's kind of like Austin, Texas, that, keep Austin weird sort of vibe. But You or Me, fantastic sushi. Probably it's up there in terms of some of the best tuna belly I've ever had. It's really good. Also, not for nothing, I had to chug an entire bottle of plum sake there. It's hard to explain. Yui Adome, where so Yui is a place that has a very renowned sushi chef, and it's one of those very Japanese places. It's in Chinatown, and it's very formal, right? You got the bar, and you got the chef, and all that stuff, and it's probably one of the more expensive meals I've ever had, but it was amazing. Like, everything that was there was literally in Tokyo Bay that morning and flown in. It's just, I mean, food is food, right? And I run the spectrum of food. Like we could eat at a dive bar, we could eat at a high-end steak place, we could eat at a high-end sushi place. I really don't care, but you have to appreciate the art. Like, someone who's like, those sushi chefs have dedicated their lives to their craft, and they're much better at sushi than you or I will be at probably anything that we do in our lives. And you got to respect the craft. You got to respect the art, man. Yeah. Kumi in Mandalay Bay is a ton of fun. Highly recommend. They got like a sea bass that's steamed in a banana leaf. Also, their cocktails come in fun glasses that are shaped like elephants. Not that I've stolen one. Zuma and Cosmo is really good. Basically, everything in Cosmo is really good. Everything in Cosmo, everything in Venetian is generally pretty good. Kame in Chinatown is fantastic. It's another one of those omakase where you pay for a prefix menu, and then they just go to town. Neko Supremo. So this is the only all-you-can-eat sushi place that I'll recommend. It's open late. It's open till 2. It's in Chinatown. It's in like a little strip mall that's got a ton of like other restaurants and bars and stuff too. So it's really great. Highly recommend just going to Chinatown, walk around. Do not go to the 24-hour massage places. But Neko Supremo. So I understand, like, all you can eat sushi is all you can eat sushi, right? But a lot of them are just rolls, and they're just trying hide fish and rice. But this one has really good nigiri. This one has really good sashimi. They have some really high-end like non-sushi roll things. And again, it's like, if you want to get the Supreme, I think it's like $30 a person. It's great value. Great value, man. ITS Sushi. So this one's a little bit out of the way, Southwest Rhodes Ranch, but it's awesome. Also, Sapporo. So Sapporo is the name of the beer, too, in the city. But this is on the South Strip. It's sort of by the Whole Foods. They got the revolving thing where you pick and then they count your plates. It's good, man. It's good. And then random places. Tacos El Gordo is just really good. Where they got a great system where you just go to each line. It's like, hey, you want cabeza, you want lengua, you want al pastor, you want pollo, you want all this stuff, and then it's really good. It's really, and also, like, their tortillas are probably, like, they haunt me. That Jerome, like, I again, the sushi chefs, people who make those tortillas. Come on. Momofuku in Cosmos, fantastic. Also, Roy Troy's best friend is in the Park MGM, is really good too. So I'm a big David Chang fan. And that's the thing about Vegas too, is like pretty much every celebrity chef will have a restaurant or outlet there, because a lot of these guys and gals have big franchises and empires. And I mean, there's only so many executive chef jobs. There's only so many executive sous chef jobs. And if they want them to stay in the empire, get experience, to send them to Vegas. There you go. Broken Yoke is done by South Strip. It's kind of your Whole Foods too, where if you're going out to get breakfast, just grab the Uber It's really good. Get on the wait list. Actually, there's a couple locations, but it's sort of a Mexican-inspired breakfast. It's really good. And so the wife and I stopped there on the way to the airport. Yeah, I highly recommend that too. Earl Sandwich in Planet Hollywood. Now, again, we say stay away from chains, but I mean, Earl Sandwich in Planet Hollywood's really good. All right, and the whole thing about it is like you get like this really good sandwich for $9. I mean, in Vegas, that's hard to beat. Carbone and Javier's and Aria are great. Carbone's an Italian place. Javier's like a high-end, like high-concept Mexican food place. Secret Pizza and Cosmo. It's not so secret because it's busy all the time, but it's open till 4. And, I mean, there's lots of places to get like a slice late at night, but I highly recommend Secret Pizza. Where, I mean, some of these places that are just open late are just, they just do volume, but Secret Pizza is actually really, really good. Highly recommend. Also, there's a couple of speakeasies in Cosmo, Ghost Donkey, Ski Lodge. Google how to find them. Like Ski Lodge is a little bit of a hike, but it's actually really good. Highly recommend So Ghost Donkey, get the mushroom margarita with mezcal, and at Ski Lodge get I forget what it is. It's like something with lychee, which I didn't know I needed more lychee in my life. Holstein's and Cosmo is probably the best onion rings I've ever had. Also great burgers. Again, you really can't go wrong with Cosmo or Venetian, and it's nice because they're like centrally located to a degree on the strip. Bouchon in Venetian's a great place for brunch. It's like a French bistro. Probably the best mussels I've ever had, and also their French fries. That's like too. Like any French place you go to, what's that place in Paris? The Casino, like Mon Ami Gabi. Like the French fries are really good. I mean, Milo's in Venetian. Recommend going there for lunch because they have like a 3-course lunch menu, and their fish is fresh. It's fantastic. It's really good. It's like a Greek adjacent place. Highly recommend the charred octopus. Whew, come on, baby, come on. Matteo is also in Venetian. Had my wife's favorite pasta that she's ever had. It was like a napkin pasta, so it was just like one sheet in like a. Just like a basic pesto. It was really good. Blondie's in the Miracle Mile. So there's a couple of places in Blondie's, in the Miracle Mile, which is in between Planet Hollywood and Paris, where you can find good value. But also, like cheaper places are going to have longer lines and be a little bit busier. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. But Blondie's has good wings. It's like a traditional sports bar. There's a place called Flights, I think that's near there. Also, Ocean One, I think, is like a good breakfast place too. Again, it's going to be busy. Also, go to Peppermill. Go to Peppermill for breakfast. Peppermill's breakfast is fantastic. Also, they have all these cocktails that are like the size of your head, like these frozen concoctions. Also, tip. So if you're getting like the frozen concoction, getting the yard, getting the football of things, make sure it's a place that doesn't have it all pre-mixed, that they put the liquor in front of you. Otherwise, that's going to be watered down, and it's just not going to be as good of a product. But yeah, Peppermill's breakfast is really good. It's a little bit norte of the strip. It's past the Wynn. It's up near Tacos Argoda, but it's still really good. Esther's Kitchen. So we found some really good places in the Arts District on this last trip. Esther's Kitchen is one of them. It's a nice neighborhood Italian place. It's they call it West Coast Italian, but it's really, really good. All the pasta's house made. Their sourdough bread, get that. Oh, baby, change your life. Come on. Gargiste, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's renowned as the best wine room in Vegas, and we found a really good Australian Shiraz there. Shang Artisan Noodle in Chinatown. There's a couple locations. Did they open one in Durango? Because there's a new resort southwest called Durango. It's got a good sports book too. But Shang Artisan Noodles. So they make their noodles by hand, and there's windows into the kitchen so you can watch them and film them and stuff, and like they shave. It's great. So we like all of their dumplings are fantastic too. But the beef noodle soup changed my life. It was so good. Huddle Brewing in the Arts District. There's a couple of tap rooms in that Arts District, as well as a couple brewing places. So if you're into beer, go check that out. Also, I believe there's a barbecue place there. No, that's something I gotta tackle next. Just try and find the good barbecue places in Vegas. Blue Ox Tavern is the Vikings bar over in Spring Valley. It's a little bit northwest. So stop there in the afternoon. Wasn't too busy, but you love the Vikings decor, and I'm sure that place is gonna be hopping over the weekend. It's gonna be good, man. Stage Door, 8 East is down in the Circa. So wow, I mean, the way that they redid Circa on Fremont Street, so they knocked down the old strip joint and a couple of like decrepit buildings. But so I've actually never stayed downtown. I would stay at Circa. That place is awesome. But 8 East is like this Asian fusion place. It's really good. Highly recommend. Stage Door Casino. So if you just want like a break, just go to a complete dive bar. There's a place called Stagecoach, which is attached to an Italian restaurant behind the Flamingo, sort of across the street from the Horseshoe. And they got dollar Budweisers. So if you just want to, like, what did we do? I think it was during college football Saturday. We just went there and got a bunch of buckets of Budweiser and just watched some college games. It was great. It's good times, man. Also, their hot dogs are good. Link Promenade. So Link Promenade is basically just a street that's got in and out. It's got bars. It's got restaurants. It's got lots of places and lots of things to do. Also, Grand Bazaar Shops, which is in front of the Horseshoe. Recommend the Fuel Bar. Just got a fun vibe there. Yeah. Also, they do like the coupons. Not like the guys that do the the escort card stuff, but you can actually get some good deals down at Fuel Bar and like Fat Tuesdays and stuff down there. Other things to do, I don't know, Cirque shows are good. I will say, if you go to O at Bellagio, be prepared. It is very hot and very humid in there, and it's understandable because I mean it's a water show and you gotta. I mean, yeah, the performers can't be in water. We just went to, so we've gone to. We've gone to the Michael Jackson one. We just went. We never went to Ka, but we did on this last trip at MGM. It was really good. It was really fantastic. We saw Zumanity. So any of the Cirque shows are really good. Circus Sportsbook. Actually, any of the major sports books. I mean, just go check that out. I mean, it's great what they're doing now with sports, and eventually maybe the Vikings. Minnesota will finally build one. The Bellagio Conservatory is great. Also, the Dale Chihuly sculpture on the ceiling in the hotel lobby is cool too. Also, if you're like an Ocean's 11 nerd, just walking through and just like, that's where that was. That's great. Flamingos at the Flamingo. They literally have like a park of flamingos. Shark Reef at Mandalay Bay. I mean, there's something to see at every single casino, right? See the Sphere. Oh, I don't do slots. I don't really do table games. Like my gambling is sports betting, poker, and playing craps. Now on the Strip, it's going to be a $15 minimum, and they'll usually bump that up to a quarter minimum at night. Yeah, if that's a little steep, they do have $5 and $10 craps at Ellis Island, which is behind the Horseshoe, and OYO, which used to be Hooters, which is down at the south end by the Trop. Also, the Trop and Hooters is where the Oakland A's are going to relocate to. They're going to build a new stadium there. It's going to be great. Sphere is great. Fremont Street. Fremont Street is a lot of fun. And the whole thing about Vegas is a lot of walking, a lot of people watching. I mean, that's half the fun, man. Also, do not do the amateur hour move. Do not just get completely blackout wasted. Just don't do that. Nah, I think you'll have more fun. Pace yourself. And even though, the weather this time of year is great. I mean, it's like 50s. Like, I mean, I'm a Minnesotan, so I was, walk around in short sleeves. Everyone else is wearing like parkas and stuff like they're the Donner Party. But nah, yeah, that's a rookie mistake, and we've all been there. First trip to Vegas, you just get wasted. Like you get yourself one of those yards, a pina colada with the extra shot of Everclear for $9, and you're just like, no, don't do that. Also, it's like an old man in me. I have a portable humidifier because it's super dry in Vegas, and if you're coming from a more temperate climate, like here in the great state of Minnesota, you'll definitely notice that. Drink a lot of water, moisturize a lot of chapstick, and also if you have like nasal spray, because otherwise you're going to get it's too much information, but very dry boogers and maybe some nosebleeds too. So yeah, do that. Also, something you can do is like Instacart to your hotel, and most room. Well, double check that your room has a fridge and just like some incidentals. Yeah, just bring a couple things to your room. Also, I haven't encountered a hotel on the Strip that has coffee makers, which would be kind of nice. So actually, so sometimes I'm hoity-toity. I'll pack the Nespresso machine. We have a travel Nespresso machine that I'll bring, or just make your own coffee in the room. Where you can have I have a travel thermos that's a French press. Actually, I got it here. Yeah, I got one of these like little Stanley thermoses that's actually a French press, and then we have a thing that heats up water, which is great. Can make tea, can make coffee, because it's not so much the cost. Well, maybe to a degree it's the cost. It's the dragging your ass all the way down to Starbucks, getting on the list and waiting in line and all that time. That's ridiculous. No, save yourself a little bit of time. Go out and do some more fun stuff. But anyways, that's it. That's a partial list of things to do, things to see in Vegas, a place to eat at. If you can't tell, I'm all about the eating in Vegas. There you go. But that's it. Skull, no production value.